Welcome back to the show, part two. I figured that you have wealth of experience. Decent power. Oh, that's a good clarification,
For
Keith.
sure.
So there will be much more automation in the plane, not just the pilot part, but in general there will be much more automation.
I would think so. In the way the
Okay.
systems operate behind the scenes,
Okay.
the electrical, the hydraulic. I'm sure there will be AI integrated into that.
Okay.
And with the 787 and Airbus has an airplane called the A350, which is they're pretty much competitors.
Oh, okay.
Those are basically the newest planes that have been built on the market, and those planes were designed almost 10 years ago. So I don't think there was much AI involved, but certainly moving forward, absolutely they're going to integrate. Not just in how the plane operates, but certainly as they're sitting at the design table, we'll definitely use AI to design the architecture of the airplane.
Okay,
for sure.
So this reminds me of another question I want to ask you. So in IT world, right?
Yeah.
The mainframes, the legacy systems, and all that stuff is being replaced now. Okay.
By AI.
But not just AI, but with automation, with new systems, with legacy system. It was like you have one huge system, mainframe system, right? You turn it on, it takes like 10 minutes to come on and stuff like that, right?
Right.
Those things are out now, right?
Okay.
Everything is being remodeled into bits and pieces. So will that ever happen with the airline? Like, they let the legacy or the old aeroplanes go away?
As far as the planes operating or the airline in general?
Aeroplane in general, that the big 800 pound. 800 pound or what? No.
Well, there's like it's a tried and true airplane. It's had very, very few accidents because it's just a really well-built airplane. So, all those old systems architectures, and like you said, you talked about things happening quicker,
Right.
I could definitely see AI coming along and doing that as far as how fast I guess not fast, but just how quick the systems react to different situations and how they interact with each other. Yeah, I could see that being put into the logic of the airplane.
Okay.
For sure. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So let's go back to your 10-year.
Ankle on that airplane, there's a big red handle. And when you pull back on that handle, it has 3 long cables that go back to those landing gear to manually drop the locks. It's a fail safe. And it's never pulled. I mean, you never touch that handle because you do this 1,000 times a day with the regular gear. So I remember we were looking at each other, and he looked at me, I looked at him, and he goes, well, I guess we're going to find out if that handle really works. I'm like, my God. Yeah, I guess we are. So I grabbed the handle, and it's a hard pull, and you pull, and it happens fast because the gear just drop. It's not like hydraulically lowered.
Okay.
It's just and so we heard
the plane
it shudders. Yeah, so we heard bang, 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 and it shuddered 3 times. So we knew that the nose gear was down, this main gear was down, and this one was down. And so that was a great. We were never in a panic. It was just, we'll figure this out. Okay. We're not on fire. We're not crashing. We got lots of time and gas to figure this out. And it just went back to training. The other one that really stuck in my mind, and this comes down to, like you and I were talking about, like captain's authority. You know, what can you do as a captain? And when you're in that airplane, you're in control of the airplane. And so even when you're sitting on the gate and the door is closed, that's your airplane, and you control everything that happens. So the airlines work on schedules, and it's all based on on-time performance. Hey, how does American Airlines on-time performance? Oh, they're 90%, or what's Delta's? And it's all based on, can you get off the gate before it's time? Not late. So we were sitting at the gate one night, and it's pouring down rain, and the gate agent had closed the door, and she'd pulled the gate off. And I looked up in the terminal, and I could see someone standing at the terminal going like this. And I'm looking at it, and I was like, God, that's a passenger probably trying to get on the airplane. And normally I would have been like, oh, guess what? You're too late. But she'd actually closed that door about 10 minutes prior to departure, way too early, in my opinion. And so I called the gate and I said, hey, man, there's somebody up in that gate. We got 10 minutes. You need to get back down here and get this door open so we can get them on board. Well, I've already closed the door. And I said, well, I'm not going anywhere until you get that passenger on the airplane. Wow. And I said, I'll take the delay. No problem. And so she pulls the gate up, and this guy comes in the door, and he's in tears, crying to us. He goes, thank you so much for opening that door and getting me on the airplane, because my son's in college, and he was just involved in a horrific car accident. And he's in a coma in the hospital, unresponsive. And you're getting me to I need to go like right now and not tomorrow. So thank you for doing that. And that was just, that really still sticks with me today.
That's like an instinct. Tells you.
I guess it was instinct and fairness. I'm like, we've got 10 minutes to spare. Why did we shut the door so quick? Maybe this guy has something going on, and boy, he sure did. He sure did have something going on.
Right.
Yeah.
I would attribute more. Of course, the fairness is one aspect, but then a lot of times, situations like that, you just may overlook, and you may not even notice the time. But looks like there was an instinct which was telling you that this passenger needs to get onto the plane.
Yeah.
And you acted on it.
I would say so. Yeah. Yeah. It was well worth it because he just so thankful that we were getting him up to where he was going. So somewhere in Ohio, I think his son was at Ohio State University.
Wow. Mm.
Yeah. So all my years of flying regional jets, those two events really stick out the most for me. So yeah. Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you did that, Keith.
Yeah,
me
too.
Good man, good deed.
It was.
Right?
It was good. Yeah, it was well worth it. Well worth it.
Yeah, I want to go back to that the landing gear where you failed that. Right?
Mm-hmm.
What if it wasn't coming down? What would have been your take?
If we ultimately couldn't get it down, then you're talking about coming in with the gear up, and so we had already declared an emergency because it was an emergency situation. And if the next step would be, let's call our maintenance guys on the ground because we've got a radio frequency that we can talk to maintenance, and we could always query them and say, hey, what kind of tricks in your bag do you have other than the checklist and what we've already done? Is there a circuit breaker I can pull? What else can we do? So you can consult with them, and then ultimately, if you don't have any kind of recourse, and then you have to land with on the belly of the airplane. So it happens.
So that ever happened in the entire history of?
Yeah. There's been plenty of planes who've landed gear up. Yeah.
Oh, so it doesn't now you're belly down on the concrete.
Yeah.
Rolling maybe 100 kilometers or 200 kilometers speed.
Yeah.
How do you even apply brakes?
You don't. If it happens in Dallas like us, fortunately, Dallas-Fort Worth has super, super long runways, so you've got lots of pavement to slide on. So you've got air brakes on the speed brakes, we call them on the wings, so you can deploy those.
The air brakes. Okay.
Yeah, you've seen them pop up on top.
Right. It does. Right.
And thrust reversers, of course, they may not deploy because the airplane still thinks you're in the air. If the gear's fully tucked up in there, the thrust reversers on the engines will be like, hey, you're still flying. I'm not going to help you out, But it's really at that point, it's a matter of how much runway do we have. If you've got an 11,000 foot runway, you're probably going to be just fine. So you'll go and burn off fuel, to get as much fuel out of the plane as you can, and then just land a normal landing. But yeah, I hope I'm never in that situation, but it can be done.
I hope, and I wish you that you never should be. Nobody should be in that situation, Keith, for that matter. Right?
No, but things happen. These airplanes are fascinating machines. I mean, all the years I've been flying and following airplanes, these planes fly every day in and day out, takeoff, landing without flaw. So I give that. I give kudos to the manufacturers, whoever they are, and then certainly really good comprehensive maintenance programs that keep those planes maintained, that can do that every day, day in and day out. I mean,
so that's amazing. Like a mandatory thing, like that's like one of the controls, you have to do these things on the plane on a daily basis, period.
The maintenance checks?
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. So you've got, coming from a mechanic standpoint, you've got daily checks that you do on the plane. So when those planes are done for the night flying, the mechanics will come out at night and they'll go through a whole series of checks on the airplane. And then after a certain amount of what we call cycles, which is takeoff and landings, and then time on the airplane, they go into what's called A, B, C, and D checks. They're all different levels of checks in a hangar somewhere. With, I believe, D checks are the heavy maintenance visits where they take everything off the plane. They strip and bare, replace everything, repair things.
Okay.
So yeah, it's a highly regulated maintenance controls.
How do we make sure that mechanic has done all the checks required?
His signature in the logbook. So so there's a logbook in the airplane.
Right.
So when you're done doing the required maintenance, or let's say the pilots had written something up during the daytime, like, hey, I've got a landing light that's not working, or there's a hydraulic leak. After you fixed everything, that mechanic's signature is his liability. It says this plane is airworthy and it's ready to go to carry passengers. So it's all on that mechanic and whoever else was working on it that night. So and that's all, like I said, regulated by the FAA here in the States.
Right.
And they approve for instance, let's say American Airlines, they approve their maintenance program for the 787. They have a maintenance program for the 737, and they.
So there is no way to check if the maintenance guy has really done his job or not.
As a passenger?
No, not as a passenger, but maintenance guy, right? He's doing a maintenance. For example, I'm doing a maintenance.
Yeah.
I had a fight with my wife. I'm into a maintenance. I'm at work now. This is really critical, right?
Right.
But my life is also critical.
Yeah.
So, and I miss, one out to check. But I checked it, thinking that I did. Mm-hmm. How do that control goes?
Well, usually you've got multiple maintenance guys working on the airplane, so you can back each other up on what you've done.
Okay.
Usually there's a lead mechanic, and then the mechanics that work under him. And so if you have the time, you can go back and check and see, make sure everything's been done proper.
Okay.
Yeah. It's checks and balances.
So going back to the 10 years, right? So what made you change the job?
Well, when you go the civilian route, you, for the most part, you can go, you can fly corporate, then you fly, or you can fly in the regional service. And so you get to a point where you want to move on to a larger airline because it's maybe flying bigger airplanes, and certainly the pay is better as well. The schedules are better. You're not flying like tons and tons of legs for the most part, like you are at a regional. So it's a lifestyle change, and definitely a bump in pay as well. So and I wanted to fly bigger airplanes too.
So that's a career growth, is what you're saying.
Yeah, it is. It's what we call, for lack of better words, a stepping stone. The regionals are a stepping stone to move on to the larger airlines. Yeah, it's a constant movement of people moving that way.
Right. Okay. So now you're with a bigger company, bigger place,
carrier.
Bigger carrier. Okay. So you go outside the country?
I do. Yeah, we go to Canada and to Mexico. We fly worldwide, but I'll fly to Puerto Rico. We fly down into South America.
I see.
Like that. I don't, like I said, I don't do the long haul.
Right. So these are all 8 hours flight?
Most of it is. No, I mean, within the United States, if you go to South America, if you go down way south, down to Argentina or something, you're looking at 8 hours.
Yeah, Puerto Rico is also, isn't it?
It's about 4.5, 5 hours from where we're flying usually. But within the States, on average, we're doing maybe about 2 to 3 hour flights, what we're doing. So, yeah, so it's not too tiresome at all. We're not doing it 5 times a day. So, yeah, it's good.
So this the bigger airlines you're talking about, what is the normal pay raise you get from a regional airport airlines to this bigger airlines? Is it 100%, 50% pay raise, or?
Let's think about that.
Or I need to ask your wife.
You probably should, man. You probably should. She would know better than I would. But like I said, I'm cheap. I don't spend money. I just pigeonhole it away. But it's I would say at least a 50% pay increase. Yeah,
that's good.
Yeah, on average in general. Yeah.
How much more service do you have? How long can you just fly the airplane?
So in the U.S. and I think it's the other airlines or other countries are different, but used to be 60 years old was the time you had to retire. You couldn't fly beyond that.
Oh, you have to retire?
At 60, it used to be, but in 2013 they changed the rules and they bumped it up to 65.
Oh, okay.
So I think it was 2013. So at 65, it's mandatory retirement for the airlines. But you could retire from the airlines and you can go fly corporate. You can fly as long as you want, as long as it's just they operate under different rules since they're not an airline carrier. They don't have mandatory retirement ages. So my first boss when I flew corporate, when I left as a mechanic, when he hired me as the chief pilot, he was 67 years old.
Oh, okay.
And he flew till he was, I think, 71, but he was unique. He was really in good shape, sharp mind, and he could have kept on going.
Is he still alive?
I don't know. I lost touch. But but it probably is because he was in that good a shape. So there you go. But at 65, at least for the U.S. airlines, you're done at 65. So, yeah, so I'll have to find something else to do and I'll retire. Because my wife said, you better find something to do because you're not hanging around the house and bugging me. So she goes, you better find a couple of hobbies.
Well, I think you will find the hobbies. As far as working or going back to what you used to do is a different story.
Yeah, I'll find something to do.
Yeah. Good.
Yeah.
Very good. So I never asked about your family though. That's I'm sorry about that.
No, that's all right. That's okay. So I met my wife. My first job out of college when I was doing the business world thing. So I worked with a lady, young lady, a girl who was my age, and we were just good friends. And she said, "Hey," she said, "I've got my ex-roommate from college coming through town. This is in Denver, Colorado, to visit. Why don't you go out with us one night?" And I was like, "Okay, fine, I'll go out with you." Well, that ended up being my future wife, and so
one shot
and done. So so we just passed 25 years of marriage. And we were married in 2000, and my daughter was born in 04, and my son was born in 07. So now my daughter is 21, and my son is 18. My daughter is about to start her senior year of nursing school at the University of Pennsylvania.
Like mom?
Yeah, she fell in love with mom's career, and she's like, wow, because she's got a real caring, giving heart, and that's just how she is. And so it's perfect for her. And then, lo and behold, my son, guess what he wants to do?
Pilot?
Fly airplanes.
Wow.
Yeah, because he's just like me as a kid. He loves airplanes and cars, and everything's mechanical. And so
that's interesting.
Yeah, so he's going to be a freshman at St. Louis University up in St. Louis. A lot of colleges like St. Louis U and big schools like OU, Oklahoma State, Auburn, University of North Dakota. And
they offer the pilot courses?
Correct. Yeah, kind of like what your son did. You can do like an aviation management and then fly as well. So he's going to do that at St. Louis University. And, but he's also going to join Air Force ROTC.
ROTC.
And so that's really wants to try to do it. So he's going to get all of his flight ratings along the way, just in case he doesn't get a flying slot in the Air Force, he will have had those ratings.
Right.
So he can go to the
so he can
world.
switch to the
correct.
Okay.
But he really wants to fly in the Air Force, so we're hoping that works out.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Well, that brings up a question around what do you think is the right path to get to become a pilot?
Well,
that's one question. I'm sorry.
No, that's fine.
The other question is, what is that you would suggest the upcoming pilots to not do?
To not do.
Yeah.
All right. So your first question. So there's multiple paths. You can attempt the military route, where you're totally military trained, have a military career, and then you can retire from the military and then go fly in the commercial airlines. Or you can do what I'm doing, and what my son's going to do is the civilian route. And what your son is doing, do it all privately on your own. So those are like the two major routes to get that done. So,
is it like, do you have to pick a good college and get the training through the college, or because college sometimes can get really expensive, and of course the whole career itself is very expensive.
It's horrendously expensive. Yeah.
So what is the best optimal way to pursue this career?
Well, take your son, for example. So he went and got his aviation management degree at, was it Southeast Oklahoma?
Right, exactly, right.
Southeast Oklahoma. So, it is expensive no matter how you cut it, whether you do it at a college or you do it how he's doing it privately, because anything involving an airplane is god-awful expensive. So it used to be that you had to have a college degree to fly for an airline. Most of the airlines today have dropped that requirement. You don't need a college degree.
Why? Why would they drop it? I think, if anything, you just increase it to make it even little difficult and hard. So because it's a critical job.
It is.
Right? It
is.
Every time you're taking hundreds of lives with you.
You are. Right? But I think there's two schools of thought now, is that, to fly an airplane, you need to have the technical skills and know how to do it, but do you really need a college degree to do that? So historically, yes, you had to have a degree. And the past 5 years has been really critical for the airline industry. We've had a lot of what we call the pilot shortage, and they really, like the regional airlines, had to bump the pay up big time to attract new people into the industry. So with that shortage, there was a shortage at the major airlines as well. And so they said, well, do we really need a degree? Do our pilots really need a degree? And I believe majority of them have dropped that requirement. However, I do think that that is a credential that they still, if you do have a degree, it definitely puts you above maybe somebody who doesn't have a degree.
Oh, okay.
So
Okay.
whether you do it at college or whether you do it privately, like your son is going to do, again, anything with an airplane is expensive. So
India. It's the same story, what I'm
Oh, is
hearing.
it?
And yeah,
Really?
even with me now here in my house, right? I feel the same thing, right? I mean, for me to get to some level, I had to, like whatever you just said, like bootstrap.
Pull yourself up by the bootstraps.
Yeah. Pull yourself up with the bootstrap.
You don't think kids have to do that as much today?
They're not. So are they really missing the fundamentals, or they're really missing the desire? That's the word I was looking for. The desire to do something.
To strive and to achieve.
To strive, yeah.
And it's funny. I do see that, and I talk to my kids because they both work. I put them to work as soon as they turn 16 and said, you got to go find a job and do something. And so they've seen it in the kids around them. So my son is a lifeguard. And my daughter has been working at this little coffee shop in the summers when she's home from school. And I never see my kids in the summer because they're always working. But they've seen what I've had to do to get where I have, and my wife as well. She worked. But the comment they both make is the reason why they're gone so much is, for instance, last summer, this was more so for my son. He was working 12-hour shifts every day because he would work his 8-hour shift. And then the other kids who thought it was just too much to have to work 8 hours would give him the other 4 hours of their shift, and he would pick it up and for more money. And I said, man, does that happen a lot? He goes, Dad, it happens every day. They don't want to work a full 8 hours because it's too much. And then
there you go. See, too much.
8 hours is just too much work. And my son is like me. He's like, I want to make money, and so and he does. And bless his heart. Today, I looked in his bank account, and he's got almost $18,000 in his bank account.
Wow,
because he just works.
That's good.
So
he knows the value of money now.
Yeah,
right?
But he's seen. My kids have seen where I started. I mean, with nothing, and then made my way up to where I am. And so, and maybe with you as well. You've progressed from nothing.
Same story. We share the same sentiment.
Yeah. So I've just always operated from this, I guess, the angle from where I was raised is nothing given. And so we have not given a whole lot to our kids and made them work for it. And for instance, my daughter, before I let her drive on the streets, I said, don't think that you're just going to go drive the car and not have to know something about the car. She was like, what? I said, well, what happens if you have a flat tire? Do you know how to change a tire? Who are you going to call if I'm on the road? I mean, what are you going to do? And she goes, yeah, I guess you're right. I said, well, here's what you're going to do. You're going to have to demonstrate to me in the garage that you can change the tire in under 10 minutes on your own. I said, you're going to jack the car up. You're going to do it. And she wasn't begrudging it. She wasn't like, oh, Dad. She's like, okay. And it took her 5 times to do it. And dictates the rest of your life. And if you screw up, you screwed up for good. I mean, this has a digital breadcrumb trail. No matter what you do, it'll ruin your life. Or it can help you. So, you know, they knew the discipline that it took. But again, my kids also knew what they wanted to do very early on, and they knew the path that it was going to take. So I feel for these kids who had parents who have not metered their exposure to these phones, because you see it as well as I do. When they come out of high school and they walk out of school, like our neighborhood butts up right next to a high school. I see it all the time. You see it as well. Their heads down like zombies.
Zombies, yeah.
Or if they're not heads down, their phone's in their pocket and they've got earbuds. They're not. They can't just be. They can't just be quiet. They have to have some kind of stimulation, either here or through here. And that will carry on for the rest of their lives, you know. And even children. I mean, how many times do you see in the grocery store, you know, a parent is pushing their kid in the cart and they've got that iPad right in front of their little 2-year-old.
Agree.
So now you've set the precedent, and to put a book in front of that kid, the kid will throw the book away and say, give me
what is
iPad.
book? Yeah, what is book?
What is a book? What are these pages? You know, so I mean, like anything else, everything in moderation. You know,
right.
These kids are they just get into this scrolling thing and the social media, and it's not good for this. It's not. Would you agree? I mean,
oh yeah, absolutely, 100%. So it's really. So I was just, the reason I was asking those questions is, you know, for my viewers also. So it's not about what culture you are from, right? Whether it is American culture, Indian culture, or any other culture. This problem we're talking about is prevalent in all the kids.
I think so.
It's and a lot of it is also on the parents.
100%.
I think I always blame parents for whatever the kids are doing.
Kids are a direct byproduct of their being raised by their parents. That's their direct reflection of how they were raised. You know, so I mean, your kids might be super disciplined. They go to school with kids who are out of control, you know, and that's all back to the home life, you know.
You bet.
So, yeah.
Well, thank you, sir.
I've enjoyed it.
Thank you very much for a nice evening and my show.
Thanks for having me.
Really like talking to you.
Yeah, likewise.
A great insight on the airplanes and the pilots being pilot. And also, we did talk about the Air India thing, which was very unfortunate, of course. But thank you for the insight on that also.
Well, you do a great job interviewing, like I told you before.
Thank you, Keith.
Make it very easy. Not that I've been interviewed very much, but
no, thank you. No, thank you very much. Any last piece of advice to the kids who wants to become a pilot? Any last piece of advice?
I would say it's like I've told my son, and yours is experiencing this as well. Number one, barring, you know, major mishaps like another 9/11 or a COVID or, you know, any kind of financial collapse, we all have to retire at 65, and there will be jobs in the future. It may not be in the next couple of years, maybe it's 5 years from now, and they'll hire on a great long hiring binge, but the jobs are going to be there if you want to fly. It's a rewarding career, and we have to retire at 65, so there's always going to be turnover. But it is cyclical. You'll have ebbs and flows to everything. So my advice is, if you want to do it, go for it. And keep it as clean as you can possibly keep it.
Wow, that's a great piece of advice.
And
that's a great piece of advice. Yeah. So keep it clean in all dimensions.
100%. 100%. Yeah.
So is Keith clean in all dimensions?
I'm clean in all dimensions. Well, ask my wife. She might have a second opinion on that. She doesn't like me clothesline drawing our clothes out back, because she said it looks a used clothes scene, like a Goodwill scene. But again, I'm cheap. In the summertime, I line dry my clothes. But if that's my only fault, then I think I'm doing okay.
Well, thank you very much, sir. Thanks a lot.
I enjoyed
Thanks a lot talking with us.
Wonderful time.
God bless you. God bless you.
God bless you too.